Hi, everyone. So this is a very short question, and again, another one that will be the whole of the rest of our lives to answer. Um, Hi, Claire. Can you tell us more about how the situation comes from the inside? Yeah, and also let's add to that, how can that not be a way of bypassing or denying the experience, or actually denying the very real danger that people find themselves in. So we're really using exploration, I think, to bring the mind into reality in a way that um, acknowledges the reality of situations and what's real and what's not real. That's really what we're asking ourselves. Um, and so when we talk about a situation or circumstances being created from the inside, what that means is that when the mind, or when the mind body is um, projecting its belief system, its conditioning, its the experiences of the past, the characters of the past, and that's happening when there is a need or a fear, shame, insecurity that revolves around the idea of me. So not really the physical safety of me, which I think we're going to look at as a different process. But when the idea of me, the identity of me, my self-belief, my self-esteem, my the existence of me as valuable, or as contributing, or as something to respect, that that me is full of the wounds and the fragility and the insecurity of the conditioning that has created it. And that is what creates a sense of self, and it creates a sense of the other. These things look separate. There's me here, and then there's work, or my boss, or my partner, my children, those people, those politicians, that political group. That all looks separate. And the separation is the clue that says, right now, there is a reality being experienced that is a construct of subconscious. So no one is doing this. It's just what's been programmed in. Subconscious constructs of self and other in an apparently rock solidly, objectively true reality, but which isn't. It can't be, because there is this protection going on, this defense system going on around an identity. So, not around the physical survival, but around the identity of me. And so that means that situations in which there is this contraction, this suffering, this sense of being under threat, not physically again, but as an entity, are moments of projection. These situations are coming from the inside. It doesn't look like it. It never looks like it. And the more the suffering grips, and the more separation is believed, the more real everything looks, the more identified the mind is, really. And the mind is operating from beliefs, and beliefs aren't questioned by nature, by definition. A belief is experienced as truth, as reality. And so it all looks objectively real. None of it is. Let's look at what goes on in the physical threat, and there's so much violence going on at the moment around us that it would be absolutely abhorrent to deny the physical threat and deny what human body minds are capable of perpetrating on other human body minds. And physical threat doesn't relate to concepts. And actually in the moment of physical threat, both can be going on. So there's a body under threat of real harm, and either the mind is engaged in concepts around that, or it's come into the pure presence of being. So it doesn't mean that because there's physical threat going on that the identified mind is always that there's no identification going on. It could well be that that's fully engaged, and so there's the physical threat as well as an insane mind that is believing what it's projecting, or there's a mind that is settled into truth, that is conscious, and there is a physical body that is responding to the situation. So it doesn't mean that violence doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that humans don't do enormous damage to each other and are really dangerous. It does mean that there is a huge difference between real and present danger and a mind that is projecting danger from the past, lived danger from the past, onto this reality now, these people now, that actually the only thing under threat is a belief system, is an idea of what we are. So I think the big question, when in those moments of suffering, in those moments where it feels like survival is under threat, is to ask really what's at stake here. What is at stake? Because literally we can feel that sense of death, we can feel that horror in a meeting in work, can't we? Or in a conversation with our partner, or in a parent teacher meeting. We can feel so the identity is so vulnerable that words coming in look like death to it. But when the question is asked, what's at stake here? What's being undermined? And when it's our idea of what we are, of what we stand for, of what we should be, of what our role is, of being right, being valuable, being having a purpose, when that's under threat, it's really interesting, because actually it's through that observation of what's going on that there's actual freedom, that this body mind, which is operating on the conditioning of the past, operating on beliefs of lack and limitation and separation, through that suffering can actually come into reality. And that cycle of projection ends. And like I said, that doesn't mean violence doesn't exist, that threats to physical safety aren't happening. Yeah. So thank you for that. Lots of love to you and everyone. Bye.